Gotta watch this. We need Clix to win.
In game number 3, guys, we just sat there in the back watching this game, okay? And the moment we realize that they're on height and 8, right? And then the zone is like, oh man, look at all these nice little triple tarp metal builds. What if I just went back over it? And they're like, okay, like, all right, first pull, that's fine. The zone's like, what if I did it again though? It's like, what do you mean? These guys had height on lock. And while everyone else is just desperately down low, trying to find some kind of peace in this storm, Kelly, they're just up there like, oh, we're just going to go builds over our builds a third time? Yeah, that sounds good. We'll go ahead and get a VR. Thank you.
They were in 5th place after game number 2, and we saw some of our big teams, first and second, going down early there. I know after that game that they're going to be shooting up the leaderboard.
He killed Clix, bro? Bolts is an op.
I have to give a shout out to Bolts. His ability to leave the rest of his team, go into low ground, and still somehow have no
Bolts is a mad op, bro. Bolts killed Clix.
He is just him. Bolts, time and time again, can show that he is ready for the grand finals and wants to get his team not just a ticket to the global championships, but he wants to get them that first place spot.
Yeah, I mean,
like, bro, Bolts is such an op. Bolts killed Clix, bro. And like, Clix is like the only one that deserves. Ooh, no, but W Rapid for running with like one of Clix's skins.
You're gonna get the refreshes from another stack.
Of course, I'm running with Clix skin.
Of course, gonna have some things for you to work with, right? So they just have so many materials, and it's so funny, right? Because we're watching the game happen, and it's like, how were they just tarping with all of this metal? Well, it's because they just had all of the materials that they needed from picking up another one of our top trios right there. And man, let me tell you something. Game number 3, Major 3 in 2025, that one might need to go down in the history books because the implications on the leaderboard, Zeke, I don't even know.
Bro, we know what the leaderboard looks like, but Fortnite fam, gotta go to break. I know, it's fine. When we return, we take a look at the standings because, as Vivid said, the implications here are crazy. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Oh yeah, Clix. Get him, Clix. Let's go. Hey, what's up, whoever's tuning in the stream? Welcome. How did Curly, out of anyone, get the exotic shotgun? It's I need this. Did they win this? I thought they won this one. Chat, we need Clix winning. Bro, like, Peterbot, bro. Like, he's good, but he doesn't deserve another reference, yes. Go Clix! I cannot see. Yeah, there we go. Go Rapid.
Welcome back, everyone, to the FNCS game number 3.
Boo Rapid.
Bulls get a victory royale with 11 eliminations. And as Vivid said right before the break, the implications alone on these standings, very, very crazy. Because we do have to remind ourselves, Agers, Acorn, and Pollo went into that game in first place, right, by a pretty big margin. But them falling mad early means everyone else in the lobby can now try and close the gap. And take a look, by
Clix is in 5th.
point, that game puts Canada, Rapid, and Bolt in first place. Let's go, dude!
I mean, I know that Agers, Acorn, and Pollo went down early, but I did not expect Rapid, Canada, and Bolt to go from 5th place into 1st. That has to be one of the biggest jumps, and I'm getting excited. This is still early. This is the halfway point for day 1, but that is crazy. That can just show you how
Bro, lock in, Clix.
so
Come on now.
up here. And Visuals, Braids, and Diminished, another trio that has jumped up their leaderboard, currently
Clix got
sitting in
this,
4th
though.
place. So many people need to put more respect onto this trio, because time and time again we see them make it to the end game. Consistency is the name of the game for this trio, and regardless of if they're able to get that big spire, if they're in the front of zone, they are able to just get so many good plays in these end games.
I mean, yeah, honestly, Diminished, Braids, and Visuals, it's like they're playing like the cleanest Fortnite out of anybody right now. There's nothing crazy going on from this trio, right? They're not playing for the high ground. They're not popping off with eliminations. They are just consistently finding themselves in the end game. And it's like almost every single time we do one of those like drone shots where we're looking at the entirety of the end game, it's like, wow, Visuals, Braids, and Diminished, they're in like the best spot right now in the end game. They're just playing super, super clean Fortnite.
And the fact that they have Medallion in hand, right? That just amps them up in that mid game. Dude, so well executed. But another trio we can't not talk about. Muzz, Sphinx, and Shadow. What the heck were they doing this game, bro? Muzz was on a completely different level. They end that game 4th place, 13 eliminations. Oh my God, Muzz. This is what I want to see from you, dude. It's so good.
This is what we all wanted to see out of this trio. A little bit of a slow start, starting with 18th
Let's
place,
go, Muzz,
getting
but
11th, but jumping
like
up
Clix,
that
bro.
placement. Muzz, Shadow, and Sphinx with
Clix
so
needs to
many
step it up.
eliminations. I
I
love
really
to see it.
want
This
Clix
is the Muzz that we know,
to win.
but can he replicate that over the next 3 games today?
I mean,
It
even
is his
being
season.
contested all spawn, right?
I'm
I think if we were
telling
to
you.
start a stopwatch from when all 3 of them landed to face the other 3, it was like felt like 7 seconds, and the whole trio was wiped. Finding those early eliminations was key for this trio for sure.
Talk about early elims, guys. Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual going down a little too early, right? Once again, we find ourselves in a solo clutch situation. Still, though, 12th place rather, with 7 eliminations. Even in a situation where Cold is put to solo clutch, I love that any one of these members, if they're put in that situation, they'll still clutch, right? So they're still hanging on to that 3rd place.
No, it's, you know, it's always usually the Peterbot show. When everyone talks about the trio, they literally just call Peterbot as a whole. But Cold, there is a reason why people regarded him as one of the best players for the last 2-3 years now. And to see him be put into a solo like consideration and still be able to pull out those plays, that's why Peterbot picked him up at the start of the year, right? He's
Chat,
really
none
the
of these
best.
people know anything about Fortnite
Guys,
besides
I
like
wanna
maybe
talk more
Vivid
about
a bit,
so
but
much,
like,
but
are
we
we?
have to go
What are
back to the
these
game, okay?
broadcasters?
Game number 4 is
We
ready
need
for us.
courage.
This is now the halfway point, okay? 3 games left to go before we wrap up day number 1. So casters,
We just got
take it away.
done with the scariest.
Can you believe a 60 or so point lead going into that game? Monster has just vanished. Now it's Canada, Rapid, and Bolts at the top spot with a 1 point lead going into game 4.
Yeah, you know what? Cold could have actually gone a little bit further. You saw Storm Sickness kicking in at the end there, really putting things into perspective of how these early game kind of sitting in the zone, taking fights can work against you in the long run. So with game number 4 here, let's see how players start to adapt. Jacob, is it heads or tails on whether or not Acorn's going to be contested? What do you think here as game 4 kicks off?
I think at least one. There's no way 4, 5, 6 teams, half the lobby, all landed over and around Demon's domain and kind of call it quits in game number 4. I feel like it's worth the risk, especially for the team that did take them down.
Yeah, and then think about how other teams got to actually play with Demon's Domain, loot, territory, medallions, right? Everything that comes from the drop in their inventory. Clearly, it allowed even teams like Visuals Embrace to go and take it very, very far. But what a start to the tournament series here today. It seems like Agers Acorn get to breathe to see another day. Pollo here kind of easing up. I'm sure relaxation almost feels like it's kicking in, but they know now that they have to stay absolutely on their P's and Q's here. They got to loot quick and move quick.
Yeah, it's almost like every game they have to play like they are going to be contested right out of the drop. Once they see it's clear, send Acorn to kind of loot the outskirts. They loot the main building. Skittles, first one down. I think it might have been Shadow landing up there on the high ground, able to get the first knock, but he's taken damage by Bryce, the lone soldier on that side of things. And so now Shadow has the luxury to kind of wait for his teammates to come by, wait for his teammates to kind of lock in on this location and clean it up. Bryce is now out of everything. No bigs that are left. He has no small ammo. He is going for the revive onto Skittles, and I do think he is going to be able to get this one off. But what do you have to fight with?
Yeah, absolutely nothing. I'm also trying to just figure out how does Shadow touch down so fast before his own teammates even get there. So clearly he is way ahead of the drop right now as far as how this all worked out. But Bryce picks up Skittles here, forced to kind of retreat now with really little to nothing. But we all know this team's going to be trying to seal the deal here. There's no reason for them not to, right? They absolutely want these points. More importantly, you want to force them out the drop. See if you can get them to change the strategy. And then that way they can actually run away with the tournament here. Because very clearly, if Muzz, Shadow, and Sphinx get their kind of early game going and get past the mid game, they are great in the end game. 13 elims in that last round is an absolute monstrous round of Fortnite for them.
Yeah, it's a kind of game-changing there if you're able to get into double digits, but on over to the outpost, something that we haven't seen for the first couple games so far. G-Money, Rise, and Aviv going to be contested by Curve, Josh, and Tyler. And this is honestly something before this major got around a fight that we all thought we were going to see. Curve and them chose to kind of go elsewhere. Flooded Frogs without Muzz in the grand finals, having to go through LCQ. They said, hey, might as well go up there. Muzz qualifies, said, uh-oh, things have to change yet again. They go to the first order base. They don't like it there. Triple contested, and now they find themselves at the outpost fighting for their lives. Good damage onto G-Money, but a 3v1. Curve gets taken down, and the full trio wiped off the map.
Yeah, this has been going very well for G-Money, Aviv, and Rise so far. 160 points now as they get just delivered 3 eliminations there, and that's going to put them right up in contention with Muzz, Shadow, and Sphinx. That's what you want, right? If you are just clearly outclassing, your opponents on the drop time and time again, it's such a catalyst, right, for your tournament position. Talk about looking for a catalyst, though. Higgsy, Hamza, and Clix almost seem like they're trying to make up for lost time here, rotating fast into the pump power, not looking to give Cam's trio time to breathe.
Even trying to sneaky angle onto Sonetto. That one's going to be given up. Can still fighting for that piece control on back, and what a change-up of game. They've just been getting more and more aggressive, Clix, Hamza, and Higgs, each and every game that does pass by. That storm surge that we thought we were going to see from the whole north side of the map, there was a whole wrench in that game plan. Reed's on the hunt, Muzz on the hunt, Clixiamzo Higgs now forced to fight box to box. Reed shades of majors 1 and 2 back for the teams that do land on this side of the map, just kind of giving a little bit of risk-reward scenario. And that's it right before our very eyes. Yamzo is going to be the first one dropped out of this fight.
Definitely a tough position to be in now. They took the risk to come here and take the fight, but Sonetto, Cam, and Sid, they're not a team that's on, 0 points, right? They're at 96 points. They've been having quite the tournament day in the race for a top 10, but Higgs now kind of call out of position here, forced to miss form. Clix playing the distance shots, but look at Sonetto. Quick to tag here, not looking to breathe or allow Higgs to get a moment there. And he cuts him off again. And they are just playing really good Fortnite here. And this might be the first mistake we see come out of Clix's trio.
Yeah, and almost by the looks of it, Higgs just down below, not even building to protect himself. He was probably out of materials overall. And we're seeing how they got the drop onto Yamzo. He kind of played back, tried to go ahead and heal, but the wood build. Sonetto just melted through those with their Spire, gets that first knock. Clix disengaged. They all played as individuals, and now Clix kind of stuck by himself. Did I see Acorn, Pollo, Agers, Cold, Ritual, And Peterbot, they know Agers, Acorn, and Poyo love to go for this island. Them out of the game means Visual Braids and Minish were able to get it last game, but this is a new game with them alive. They are going for the lurk. They're trying to take down second place.
Leave it up to Peterbot, Ritual, and Cold to be the type of team that will do what it takes to take home the entire tournament. They're doing it here and now. They did it last season in Major 2. It is just time and time again playing out before us, and you really get to see that championship mentality from Peterbot, who kind of leads this trio. Acorn, Poyo, and Agers likely have no idea what's coming after them right now, so they have to be absolutely cautious here before they go up for high ground. The moment they go up, I think we're going to see Peter's team follow right behind them.
I already heard one rift kind of go off. I want to imagine that's Agers, that's Poyo. Yep, you see them immediately start that boss, the medallion. It's moving on the island. You see it in the mini-map. So Cold, Ritual, Peterbot not necessarily making their move now. And I kind of think maybe it's due to how they spread out to get Storm Surge.
Hold up, chat. We're gonna watch Clix.